This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Well, joining us today is Ben Turney, the CEO of Kavango Resources, following news from their Hillside gold project in Zimbabwe, with Prospect 4 assay results returning 29 grams per tonne gold, intercepted over 2.5 meters. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Ben. How are you, and how are you feeling about this, first of all, I suppose?
Well, I'm feeling very good about it, Mark. It's a really excellent result to have received towards the end of last week, and we're very, very excited about what this says about the overall prospectivity of the Hillside project.
Well, I mean, let's just talk a little bit about that then, because of course you announced a little earlier in the year that you'd obviously started mining operations there at Hillside. It was the small scale, but looking to effectively double production to 1 kilogram a month, looking hopefully to get into some sort of big bulk open pit mining here. So just first of all, how did you identify this prospect here that you called Prospect 4?
Well, Prospect 4 was always part of the Hillside project. So Hillside comprises of four sets of claims. We haven't published the map about this, Mark, because it's commercially confident and we're looking to build up more in the area. But it's not a contiguous block of ground. It's four sets of claims, so four blocks. Now, our first three prospects we tested last year. We ended up putting 4 holes into those, into prospects 1, 2, and 3. We got those results are still to come, and those are the targets that we were most excited about from the bulk mineable perspective. But just before Christmas, once the drill rig demobilized, and just after Christmas, before the drill team came back, our team went up to go and look at this Prospect 4. And we decided, based on the initial mapping that they'd done and the level of artisanal work that we saw in the area, and also gold production immediately surrounding this Prospect 4 group of claims, we decided, well, look, we've already got the drill rig in field. We've mobilised at Nara. So not at Nara, at Hillside. We're not quite ready to start drilling at Nara just yet. There was some more work that we needed to do. So let's go ahead, push ahead, drill a hole at this Prospect 4, and let's see what it returns. So we moved very, very quickly, which is the hallmark of our exploration efforts in Zim. Our team on the ground is moving at light speed for an exploration company. I mean, we've only been operational in Zim now for 10 months, and what our team has already achieved on the ground is fantastic, and I'm so proud of them. So we've got the money and the backing behind us. We had the capability to go and drill this. So we thought, sod it, let's go for it. And I'm very glad we did, because when the cores first came out, we saw that visible gold at about 97 meters, and it looked like we might be onto something.
So this is not, as you say, you obviously didn't plan to drill this initially, and it still remains the 4th ranked target at Hillside there. And you're still waiting for the assay results on holes 1, 2, and 3. I mean, how come this last one came in first? Any reason for that?
Yeah, so we had some issues getting our export permit granted to get our cores sent over to laboratories in Johannesburg, particularly for multi-element testing. That equipment doesn't exist in Zimbabwe, and from an exploration perspective, we need the multi-element testing to help guide our future exploration and drilling. But we obviously, as with any company, we're under pressure to deliver results, and we didn't know how long it would take us to get the export permit. So we've actually decided to send 2 of our holes for fire assay testing in laboratories in Johannesburg. Brett went out with Dave and did a review of this lab space last year. So even though it's not internationally accredited to the level that the lab in Johannesburg we're using, the fire assay testing in Zimbabwe is pretty well established because there is so much gold
Okay.
production down there. So we decided to send these results in. While they're not optimal from an exploration perspective, the presence of the visible gold was enough of a lead that we wanted to see what was there. And obviously the result has now come in at just under an ounce a ton over 2.5 meters. So it's looking like a very, very attractive near-term opportunity for us.
So when we talk about the near-term opportunity, then I mean, I think in the RNS you were quoted saying these results underline the Hillside's project overall potential to host over 1 million ounces of mineable gold. So how can you confidently say that at this sort of, I'm going to say, early stage in the process?
Well, based on what we've already seen visually, based on field tests that we've done using XRF, based on the pathfinder elements that we've seen, based on the both historic high grade production and ongoing small scale and artisanal gold mining that we know is rife throughout the area, and based on the volumes that we're looking at, together with the geophysics. One of the things about today's announcement is that another reason that we were keen to test these drill cores is they were also a test of our geophysics. These induced polarization surveys, as with any geophysics, until the geophysics has been tested with actual geology, you don't know what you're looking at. These very pretty pictures and nice colourful diagrams that geophysics can throw out, I'm afraid they are meaningless until you've actually got geology to act as a control, so that you can then interpret the geophys with a lot more confidence. Well, a very, very encouraging thing about today's result is that the induced polarization survey we ran after we drilled this hole, it aligns pretty much perfectly with the interpreted shear zone that we've encountered within the drill core. So that tells us that the tool, that the IP is correctly calibrated. We can now move forward using that in the area with a great deal of confidence. And the IP results that we've seen, we're looking at decent size or potential ore bodies in this area. At the Prospect 4, we've got 3 further shear zones that we want to test. We announced today that these 3 shear zones, they are interpretations at this stage because we need to drill test them. But the fact that we've hit this shear zone in this first hole, and also based on the mapping that our team has done, indicates that these other possible three shear zones, they seem also to be concurrent with existing ongoing small-scale gold production, suggests there is gold mineralizing systems down there. There really is a lot for us to go at. So we're confident based on all the data that we're seeing, Mark, the fact that we know we're working in quite prolific gold-producing areas, and the volumes that the data seem to indicate.
Okay, so this IP survey was done after the drilling then, and you're saying that basically it's aligning with what the drill has already told you.
Exactly. So, in an ideal world, we would have done sort of, I suppose, normal practice in exploration is you do your geophysics and your mapping first, and then you drill. Well, this time we put the cart before the horse and we drilled first, but we did the IP to get a feel for what else was down there. And the fact that we were already drilling, we knew we'd have the control on the survey. So, it's turned out that was a good decision, and we've been very fortunate with this result today. But the IP is really looking like it's going to help us a great deal on unlocking value across our projects.
Okay, well, let's just talk a little bit, just finish off on these potential shear zones. And I wonder if you can briefly and in a layman's manner explain what a shear zone is and what it contains, and then we can talk a little bit about what you plan to do now that you've identified additional shears and what comes next really in the process.
Well, a shear zone, in very simple terms, it's a geological structure. As the word suggests, it's sort of where the earth has sort of broken apart, I suppose. It's sort of, if you imagine sort of solid block shearing, I suppose if you drop a brick on the ground and a crack develops through the brick and the brick breaks into two, if you want to visualize a shear zone as being like that. Now, these zones are associated with mineralization because they can act as a pathway through which fluids can pass over a very long period of time, and then deposits of, in this case in particular with gold, can then accumulate over a long period of time, which is why shear zones are often associated with with gold mineral deposits. So the fact that we've got four of these on this particular part of the property on this prospect four, if we are able to demonstrate there are four gold bearing structures that are commercial, this could really turn into a very interesting mining development area for us.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you, Ben. So, in terms of what's to come, then you're awaiting assay results from holes 1, 2, and 3. I guess you'd be waiting then, or looking to get usually testing these shears at some point here. How would that look like? Further drilling?
Yep. So we're currently, so we've now done all the mapping that we need to, we've done the geophysics that we need to. We're now going to do some more detailed mapping of Prospect 4. We're currently drilling at Nara. The plan is to drill there for at least the next month, maybe a bit longer. I think that then gives our team a bit of time to prepare. We need to see what the results from the other four prospects are. The other three prospects are, because we are going to need obviously to prioritise. But our plan will be to take the drill rig from Nara back to Hillside, and as things stand today, we would look to come and test these other shear zones with further drilling. So as I said earlier, the program really is moving at pace. We've got the resources to be able to pursue this exploration, and now that we've got the export permit as well, we'll be able to export future drill samples to the laboratory in Johannesburg to get those more sort of thorough exploration analysis that we need, the multi-element testing.
Okay. And is it too early to be talking about the potential for open pit bulk mining at Prospect 4?
Right, it's a good question. So yes, it is, because this doesn't look like at the moment it's going to be an open pit. So this result, the reason that Prospect 4 was further down our list is that based on the work that we'd done, we never really expected that this would be necessarily an open pitable mine. Now, there might be some change to that. I mean, there are some interesting indicators, the presence of these now four shear zones, the fact that there was anomalous gold throughout the hole. We had to think about how we would present these results. So we've chosen to go with our initial interpretation. And at the moment, this looks more like it's going to be a near-term high-grade mining opportunity rather than an open pitable deposit. But you've got to remember, Mark, we're talking about material here that's running at nearly an ounce a ton. I mean, it's just a phenomenal grade. It's at about 97 meters depth. So sinking a shaft down to this and getting in there and mining it will be very straightforward. I mean, this is the sort of mining production that Zim is extremely well known for already. And by having a properly financed operation that can use some modern techniques, this could be a really exciting opportunity for Kavango mining, where we could look to scale up there much quicker than we're currently anticipating. But for now, there's more work that we need to do. The open pitable opportunities we think are primarily in prospects 1, 2, and 3. So we await the results of those holes, and hopefully we'll have more good news to report to the market in the not too distant future.
Well, just as a quick final question, Ben, I mean, is it too early to be talking about potential revenues here from this? Is it too early to be thinking about the economics?
No, well, it's never too early to be thinking about the economics. We're here to find economic gold deposits. In terms of the specifics and targets, yes, it is a bit early to be talking about that. However, as I've just said in an earlier answer, the fact that this high grade zone is relatively close to surface, 97 meters, we can get down there, we believe, quite easily. If it turns out that what the IP surveys are telling us about the length and breadth of this potential shear zone, if we can test those with further drilling, and it turns out that there is a mineable deposit there, I imagine it is something that we will focus on bringing into production very quickly. The fact that the gold was visible indicates that it's obviously it's free gold. That makes processing much more straightforward. Obviously, we need to do metallurgical testing to confirm that preliminary view. But so far so good. The signs do look very encouraging. But more importantly than that, Mark, Prospect 4 is 10 kilometres away from Prospect 1, which is where Kavango mining is currently based. So we already have an operational processing plant, the stamp mills that's already up and running. If it turns out that Prospect 4 becomes an ore source for Kavango mining, and if we are able to produce material at 29 grams a tonne, that obviously will massively increase our overall output through the existing operation. Now, there's obviously a lot of ifs that are built into there, so it's too early to commit to a timeline at the moment. But we are really quite excited by what we've seen today. I mean, this could supercharge our early growth with Kavango mining and turn Kavango into a profitable business in its own right. So we watch this space.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ben Turney, today for your time, the CEO of Kavango Resources.
Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.